Looking good.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, we feel like dressing up.
I know, I'm disappointed.
He actually dresses up.
You thanking me?
So how's your year been today?
It's been great. It
Yeah?
actually has. Mm-hmm.
You still in the nursing field?
I am.
Just want to do that.
Yeah.
Well, the district court commissioner actually issued a warrant for you in Maryland, right?
Okay.
I'll be more than happy to explain why they came to that conclusion.
Okay.
I'll be more than happy to try to answer any questions you have about it, and just tell you the facts, all right?
Okay.
Because you were brought here in handcuffs and we're in a police facility, I'm sure you probably heard, seen movies and stuff. I got to read you your rights, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm sure you know. It's the form we use here. There's a few questions on it. Are you in good physical condition?
I am. I'm bound.
You're sober, I'm sure.
Of course.
Any type of medication?
My Ventolin inhaler, and then my Flonase, it's inhaler also.
Yeah, for like.
But I didn't bring any of that.
For like allergies or something? Or asthma?
Yeah, pretty severe.
I'll send that. And education level, I think you got a master's degree, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm going to read it to you. If you have any questions, make sure you ask, okay?
Okay.
Okay, you have the right now and at any time to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you. You have the right to a lawyer before and during any question. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you. You have the right to be taken promptly before a district court commissioner who is a judicial officer not connected with the police. A commissioner will inform you of each offense you're charged with and the penalties for each offense. Provide you with a written copy of the charges against you. Advise you of your right to counsel. Make a pretrial custody determination. And advise you whether you have a right to a preliminary hearing before a judge at a later time. Do you understand what I just said?
I do.
Okay. All right, cool. Do you mind then just signing it saying, we can read it again saying I just read it to you.
Okay.
And thank you. Okay, so, I guess where we left off the last time we was in your apartment in Baltimore County.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing a lot of work on this case, obviously. It actually became pretty simple. When we were in your apartment, it was very complicated at the time, but now it's actually pretty simple, okay?
Okay.
Eric was shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eric was shot with a .380.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did we tell you that before?
No, you didn't.
I didn't tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we asked you before, if you killed Eric. Right?
Yeah, I was like, you never asked me.
Right, in the apartment. So you still saying you didn't kill Eric?
Of course not.
Okay. Do you own a firearm?
Yes.
Okay, what kind of firearm do you own?
For .380.
Okay, why didn't you tell us that last time?
Because you never asked. I didn't kill anyone, so it's no need for me to say I have a gun. I mean, you never asked. You asked me, have you ever held a gun?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever fired a gun?
Mm-hmm.
I've been stalked, followed home, and grabbed. So the police in Jackson, Mississippi advised me to get a gun. That gun's so old, I haven't had to pull it out.
Where is it?
I don't know. I'm sure it's somewhere.
Well, that's important to know.
I mean, I honestly don't know. I move around. I have suitcases. I have stuff like boxed.
When's the last time you saw it?
Actually, 2010. Because I was in Atlanta and I had a stalker and I was under Sandy Springs protection. It was actually a patient and they would have to come, and sit in the clinic 3 days a week while he was there. So I actually had it. I carried it in a purse. And actually I didn't even see it then. I just had, what was what now?
And the name of the department is
Sandy Springs, I believe. I actually didn't see it, but the little purse thing I used to carry it in, I moved it from the back to the front to the console. So I never had to go in because the police were always there. When I got there, they were there walking in. They were there to walk me out. So.
And when you went, did you go from Atlanta to Maryland, or was it somewhere else?
Atlanta, 2010 to Dallas.
Dallas.
Mhm.
Did you have the gun in Dallas?
I never had to use the gun. I never had to pull it out. So
Did you have it?
I didn't. Well, I'm sure I did. It's in my possessions, like wherever it was. I don't know where it was.
I mean, gun's a pretty important thing to know where
Yeah,
it
but
is.
I don't
you know
use
what I mean?
guns. So
Right.
and I didn't even have to pull it out since 2006 when I moved from my apartment. So 2010, I got it from wherever it was. It had to be in a little case in the back of the car, and I moved it from there to the console. So I honestly, I don't know. I've learned not to guess. I honestly don't know.
Wouldn't you agree that it's pretty important to know where your gun is?
It is.
Like,
I totally
if you own
agree.
a gun.
But I don't want to make up any stories. I've learned when I try to make up stuff, it
So
just doesn't.
So then you went from Dallas to Maryland then?
No, Dallas to vacation. Dallas to Miami, San Diego, L.A. for about 6 weeks, and then San Antonio.
Did you drive your truck to all those places?
No.
Okay. So, do you ever recall taking it out of the console?
I did at some point. I don't remember exactly when. I honestly don't. But I know it was no longer in my car.
When you got to Maryland, do you recall seeing the gun when you were in Maryland?
I didn't see the gun, but I had, I think, all of the suitcases that I carry with me.
In the little bag that you said it was in, do you recall
Yeah,
seeing
so I
that in
usually have
Maryland?
I don't recall seeing it. I didn't have to look for it, but I'm pretty sure it was with me. I'm pretty sure, because I had all my suitcases, I'm pretty sure it was with me. It was in a little purse thing, so I have a suitcase of purses. I don't remember, I didn't see the gun, but it's in my possession.
Where did you originally obtain the gun?
At a pawn shop.
Where?
Columbia, Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember about when?
2003 when I had the stalker. 2003, 2004, a long time ago.
How much did you pay for it?
No idea. It wasn't that much.
Did you fill out
Maybe
paperwork
two.
and all that for it?
I did, and I think it was 2 something.
You remember filling out the forms and all that?
I think I signed something because I had to wait, like a background check or something. I'm not sure whatever they do, but I had to wait. So I'm sure I signed something. Yeah.
You're pretty quick.
Yeah, I am just answering questions.
No, you're good. Katrina, you are good.
I'm telling you. It's easy to tell the truth.
All right. Here's why we don't believe you, okay?
Oh, you can go ahead.
We found the gun, okay?
Oh,
and you
wow.
know where we found the gun, okay? And this is what it's going to come down to, okay?
Okay.
You can continue to go through this as you didn't kill Eric or nothing happened between.
And I absolutely did not.
Okay, let me tell you how it would look like too, and I'll just explain it to you. And like as a regular person, not a judge, not a jury, just a regular. Hear the story, okay? You were the last person in Eric's apartment, okay?
Was not.
Yes. The reason we know that, well, there's several reasons why we know that, but we spent a year going through videotapes of every entrance in that building, and we identified every single resident and guest that entered that building. So there was no other people that would have entered that building, okay? They would have to call Eric, okay? And Eric received no phone calls. Okay? I mean, you lived in that building. You know, in order for you to come up, you got to get a phone call to let somebody
Definitely.
in. Okay? He hasn't received any phone calls.
Okay.
So to a normal person that just, like, listening to this, chances are nobody entered his apartment. But let's take it past that, okay?
Okay.
We found the gun, okay?
Okay.
The day after the murder.
Okay.
Okay? It's your gun.
Okay.
It was used to kill Eric. Okay? We matched it to the bullet.
So you found the gun the day after the murder. Why would he be murdered with my gun? It doesn't make sense. Like, you guys have told lies to different people that you've questioned about me.
Like what?
So if someone had my gun, then it was stolen. I mean, like, but when would they steal my gun? The only person that's been in my apartment is Eric.
Do you see how bad that looks?
It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, well, let me tell you this. We can walk away from this right now, and I'm telling you, we have enough to convict you, okay? The reason, like, okay, so last month I had a case where it was just a drug murder. One dude killed another dude. It was the same thing. We found a gun in his apartment. He wasn't home at the time, but we found it. He was 2 hours away from us. You think we went down to talk to him? Because I don't care.
Mm-hmm. I don't know you don't.
Because I don't care about drug murders, okay? It was a guy that had 2 kilos of coke in his house, okay? He had little kids in his apartment, okay? In your case, I took a personal interest in this, okay? Because I know something happened between you and Eric, and I know there's a lot more to the story, and that's the only reason why I'm here. Because hearing this story, what I just told you, that's enough. The reason it took so long is because we had to go to the FBI to do DNA tests on the gun that were a lot more sensitive than our department can handle, and ballistics. And ballistics was a match because basically when a gun is disassembled, I'm sure you know it was disassembled, the barrel stays...
No, okay, you know what? This
Yeah,
doesn't make
can
sense.
I show you something? Can I show you something?
A gun was disassembled? Like...
A gun was disassembled. Yeah. Just to show you that I'm not... You said we're telling lies. I'm telling you we're not. Okay. So, when I zeroed in on this, my camera was working that well, but that's still 519-764. That's your gun. That's the serial number of your gun. That's your gun.
Oh, my goodness.
Anything that, do you think anything different about
My
it?
gun was very scarred up. It was an old gun. I don't know how to disassemble guns. I don't know how. I wouldn't ask anybody to disassemble a gun. Didn't know anybody other than Eric and coworkers. Like,
so you see how the barrel stays with the gun? Like most guns, like for example our gun, the barrel comes off. Okay, so when you disassemble it, the barrel...
I don't even believe this. I mean, my gun was scarred up, but I honestly don't.
Do you really? You don't think this is your gun? You think I'm just like making it up?
I mean, I really and honestly do.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, it could be. Maybe somebody stole it, but my gun didn't have
it wasn't stolen. It was found.
Bullets or a clip to it.
It was I highlighted the important part. Version 380, model 380, serial number was bought in Columbia, Mississippi by you. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you remember buying it. Okay.
No, I remember buying it. I just told you that.
Okay. Again, just think of me as just a regular person. Listen, I'm not a detective.
Well,
Listen to the story.
You told me I said I didn't remember buying it. I just told you I bought it in 03, 04.
No, I said you remember buying it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm just a regular person listening to the story, right?
Right.
If I don't have an explanation right now, and it happened before on cases with me, I'll walk away thinking you're basically a cold-blooded killer. Nothing happened between you and Eric, and you just popped him for whatever reason. But I think you're a very smart person, and I think at this point you gotta tell yourself they got me. You gotta tell yourself that it's not a question of like I told you, you're very good. I think you're one of the best people I had to deal with. I've been in homicide 4.5 years. You're one of the best people I had to deal with, not just like smart-wise, but just you're very polite. You tell a good story. I think
I tell good stories.
I think you're a good person, and that's why part of me doesn't want to leave here and believe for 1 second that nothing happened to you and Eric. Because I'm telling you, Trina, we can convict you of this. There is no doubt in my mind.
I respect you doing your job.
It's no longer, Katrina, it's no longer a matter of did you kill Eric, but it's why. And that's what we're here for. We want to know, was there something that he did that provoked this?
Eric was so good to me. I would love to say he was an awful person. Eric was good to me. He was so good to me.
Well, then that makes it even more difficult to understand why you killed him.
I don't understand why you think I killed him.
Oh, we told you.
You asked me about a wine glass.
You're the last.
All kinds of
Here's
stuff,
why.
like,
because you're the last person in the apartment.
I was not.
Listen, let me finish. You're the last person in the apartment. While you're on a mission, you were with him all night.
Yeah.
During the time he got
I'm
killed.
Killing people and
during the time he got killed, it was your gun that killed him. That's a scientific fact. Okay, so you told me.
Okay,
help
if it was my
me make
gun,
sense
I
of
haven't
it.
seen the gun, so.
Well, how did the gun wind up in Maryland, just a couple of miles from Eric's house?
Well, I don't doubt that it could have been. I haven't seen it. I would love to go through my stuff.
That doesn't, to a reasonable person,
looking for my gun.
To a reasonable person, that doesn't make sense. Would you agree with me that most people?
Maybe he stole my gun. I don't know, but he didn't kill himself with it. He just threw it away after.
He didn't.
So I don't know, how would anybody have my gun?
Nobody did have your gun. You had your gun.
Okay.
And it was used.
Trina, let me tell you. I mean, there's not just that.
I respect you doing your job. I do. But Eric did nothing to me. There's no reason for me to have harmed him at all.
I'm telling you, it's not just that. I mean, it's the little things in your story about the dryer. Like, there's no You know whose DNA is on the dryer? Yours and Eric's. There's no guy.
I never used his dryer.
Well, your
I've never
DNA
used
is
his
on
dryer.
it. Your DNA is on the dryer.
I've never used his dryer. I mean, we've had sex going from the bathroom to the bedroom. Maybe I touched it. I don't know. But I've never used his dryer.
I'm telling you, Trina. If have you heard of the Lululemon case in Bethesda? Were you around?
Never.
It was this girl that killed this other girl, and to the very end, she basically did what you're doing. She wasn't as smart as you are. Definitely not. But some people they just stick with it, and it's like hard for us to walk away thinking like, I just can't believe that she did this, and she wouldn't even tell us why.
I wish I could tell you it was that person, or I was beat up, pushed down, my gun was taken, and somebody shot at us both. I'm not going to make up a story.
But
he did nothing to me.
How do you think it looks? How do you think it looks at that? Again,
I think it looks very confusing.
Let's take DNA out of it. Let's take DNA out of it, because DNA, it's scientific. Science is going to have to explain it, okay? But let's say you're not even the last person in his apartment. You're in his apartment, and you leave and you tell us a story, but then your gun, the gun that's registered to you, we have your signature where you're getting the gun, is the murder weapon. That alone, there's no.
I'm sorry. I
have no
you're
doubt.
Saying that you think I'm good and I'm smart, and if I was going to do something like this, it wouldn't be like this. It wouldn't be stupid.
How would it be?
It wasn't stupid at all.
I think it would be planned out.
You got away with it for over a year.
You have my computer, so very organized.
But you got away with it for over a year.
I definitely wouldn't do it to start off with.
I think you
did do it.
Yeah.
You did do it. We need to get past that.
I think you guys are really good detectives.
No, but don't you think that again, it's not even, how we got here is probably, being good detectives, but just presenting this little story to a regular person, to just a person on the street, say, two people in the apartment.
It looks like, if this is my gun, someone was murdered, first person, okay, you did it, you own the gun. But I agree with you.
And you were there that night, the night of the murder.
During the time that he gets murdered.
I'm definitely
we've
not
narrowed
going
it down to a very small period of time.
Stay there. So I have another apartment in the next community. Stay there.
So that's where what you just said is, there has to be a reason. There has to be a reason. And if there isn't a reason, then you're going to go down, I'm telling you, as the most cold-blooded person that we've spoken with, because you're so good and so, it's going to look horrible. If you don't come off this, I'm telling you,
it's not cute at all.
You're going to look horrible. You're going to look horrible in this.
Well,
it's going to be bad.
I'm just going to have my
I'm telling you.
Day in court.
That's fine.
Just, I can't change.
Do you really think you're going to get off this? You really think so?
You know what? I'm going to tell my story. It's going to be the exact same that you got all 3 times you interrogated me. This right here, I can't explain. Eric did help me pack. Eric's not a thief. I don't see him being a thief.
You told us before he didn't help you pack. That was one
of the
reasons
I never told you I did.
He was supposed to come help
he
you
was
pack.
helping me move. I didn't say he didn't help me pack. I said he was supposed to help me move.
So he stole your gun and killed himself with it.
No, he definitely couldn't kill himself and then, disassemble the gun after. But, no, he helped me pack, 2 weeks before. He was supposed to help me move. That's what I said. Very easy when telling the truth.
Man,
But I don't take Eric as being a murderer or a thief or anything, so I don't know.
Because he's not, or he wasn't. He was a lot of things, but he wasn't that. He was a womanizer.
He definitely was not this professional man that you guys thought he was, or that I thought he was, because that last night when he, wanted to smoke some marijuana, I didn't think he would ever smoke marijuana, so I apparently didn't know him. They had been only 2 months, so.
What else did you learn about him that night?
That's it. Eric's an awesome man.
Did you hear
I absolutely miss him.
Did you hear him arguing with his girlfriend?
Oh, no.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. What about other women?
Why would he argue with his girlfriend?
I don't know.
I didn't even know he had a girlfriend.
But he was talking to her on the phone while we were listening.
One of you said he called a girl at 2 in the morning or something like that.
He was actually breaking up with her on the phone.
That wouldn't upset me.
No?
No.
How about
if I heard him breaking up with her.
Did he ever do anything that upset you?
No, never. Eric was absolutely amazing. And I wish I would have known how he really felt. I wish I would have believed him. you know, when
did
he
you
told
tell
me
us
he was in
before
love with
that
me.
he tried to cancel your date that night or postpone it or something because he wanted?
On Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, on Monday he asked me if I wanted to watch the game that night or watch the game the next night, if he was gonna go to a manager that was leaving his party or something.
Right. Did that upset you?
Of course not. He came home.
And what
Why would I be
about,
upset?
was
He
it
came
like
home.
the Saturday before that he stood
Mhm.
you up to, or did that upset you?
Actually, he asked me on Saturday. He came, he wanted sex, because we talked earlier that day, and he was kind of hot on the phone, hot as in horny. And he came in, like, immediately wanting sex. It was like, I'm cooking. So that was my decision, you know, to not have sex. Eric wants sex.
Did you guys have an argument?
No, Eric never argued with me. Eric never, I've never, even the people that I've heard him talk to on the phone, he's never been rude to anyone. Because I've heard him cut people off, but he's never been rude to anyone.
Well, staying with the point of the matter, what happened between the two of you that led to this?
Mark, nothing happened between me and Eric.
Because,
I'm going to go to my grave
you know,
saying this
you
man
said,
is one of the greatest people I've ever...
You said you were going to, have your day in court and tell the same story and all that. Do you understand that that story is not believable at this point?
I understand, and if I was, you know, a detective, it would look the same way to me. I have no idea. I have no idea. I would rather sit here and say, oh, you think I did it? Well, he, I don't know, stole from me or killed my father or something. Eric did nothing. He did nothing. I can't even make anything up. Eric did nothing.
So what would your best
He did nothing
explanation
before
be
he
as
hard
to
out to
how
me.
your gun was used to kill him and you were the
I
last
have
person
no
in his
idea.
apartment?
I have no idea. Eric was, we packed 2 weeks before. It was about 2 weeks before. He's not a thief. I don't know how my gun would get out of my apartment. There's only been 2 other people in my apartment. No one was near my screen.
Because your gun didn't get out of your apartment. That's why you can't think of how it got out, because it didn't.
He wasn't killed in my apartment. So
I know.
I don't
the only
know.
time your gun left your apartment, you had it. Nobody else took your gun. That's not believable at all.
Okay. You know what? We can go back and forth all day. I appreciate
So
you
you really
guys telling me this.
Jenny, just stick with it.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the truth. That's it.
All right. I mean, seriously, it's gonna look really bad.
That's okay. I don't care.
Here's
Nothing
why.
about this is
Here's
cute.
It's not cute.
It already looks bad with you guys making up things,
It's-
telling to my best friend I'm a suspect in a murder. Well, somewhere else.
You are a suspect.
No, you said 2 murders. You told my best friend that.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Who came down? You?
It was me and the guy Steve.
Yeah. Why would you say that?
First of all, why would I tell her that you're
And then you
suspect in 2
said,
murders?
tell her I'm sorry about her computer.
Yeah, I
I'm
did
not
tell
gonna
her.
get back to her.
Correct.
Why would she say? I don't understand why she would make that up. That's not.
No, I did tell that. I told her.
Now that really upset me.
Here's what I said. I said, does she know you're here? She said, yes. I said,
yeah, she called me. I'm like, hey, go for
correct.
it.
And that's what she said. And I said, all right, well, say hello to her and say I'm still trying to get her computer and phone back. I did say that. I did not say you were a suspect in 2 murders.
And that's all. That's all irrelevant anyway. And really, you have bigger things to worry about than that. You have
1 murder is enough. 2 murders, like really? I'm like, really?
Well, let's focus on the 1 murder because you have overwhelming evidence against you in that one, and we're trying to understand why. What was there? Some type of reason, some type of provocation on his part that led this? Because
Eric poured
obviously,
his heart out to me. Eric was asking to be with me. Eric presented himself as being single. That's what he said. I've witnessed Eric talk to people on the phone, like other women. It's not a thing about other women. Eric was a great guy, but I wasn't even trying to be with Eric like that. And to be honest, when he would tell me he was in love with me, I never believed him. I didn't believe him until I talked to his brother. And his brother told me all the things that he had said to him. Like, I wish I would have had a chance to, like, talk to his brother, before and express to him that I did have feelings for him too, but not like that,
Well, then help us understand what it was. What made you snap that night?
Guys, I know at any moment I can say, you know what, I'm tired of talking to you, cut it off, no more questions.
That's true.
You have to do your job.
We're not trying to
and
paint you in a
that.
corner. We're trying to understand why this happened.
And I understand. I'm trying to understand, what happened too. I can't stressed about it. Like, I actually was stressed right after this happened, trying to grieve for my friend, to work, and then all of a sudden, we think you know more, I quit eating, I lost weight. I'm a size 14. I lost weight all the way down to size 8. And, like, the 3 weeks after you guys came to my apartment and took my stuff, it was like things just changed. I have no idea. I have no idea. I would love to say Eric did something to me. This is the first time he said he was talking to a girlfriend. He said he called someone and had an intimate conversation. Mm-hmm. Yes, I don't think it's intimate if you're breaking up with someone. But that wouldn't upset me. Like, Eric talks to people on the phone all the time. That wouldn't upset me.
From our standpoint, from the outside looking in, when you've got a guy that was a known womanizer, and I'm not worried about sex, but he's a known womanizer, and you have your suspect in killing him is a girl or a woman that he's intimate with. That's obviously a potential motive. Okay, so if you're telling us that's not why, tell us what the reason was then.
Okay, first of all, there's no reason.
Did he steal something from you? Did he?
Eric never stole anything from me. Eric never stole anything.
Was he aggressive with you?
He's aggressive, but I like it. He's aggressive during sex.
Okay. So he never tried to hurt you?
No.
You never feared him?
No. Eric is a big baby. I'm quite sure you got that from somebody. Eric's a big baby.
He didn't spread any diseases to you?
No.
Anything like that?
Eric always wore condoms. I don't have sex without condoms. No diseases.
Well, I mean,
I'm telling you, I'll give you props, Trina. You're good. Because that's what we obviously read people, right? That's what we do. We read people. And just your behavior, just looking at you, there's so many signs. I mean, like, if you're trying to persuade us the other way, we're already on the other side. We're like, we know what happened. And we're expecting you, like, the first 3 interviews that we did, you call them interrogations, I call them interviews. The first 3 times we talked to you, and we actually spoke on the way here. I was like, man, I hope she's not going to be the same way she was the first 3 times. Because it's
How about that? What do you mean?
I mean, you're sitting here being faced with a murder charge of your boyfriend.
And that's my boyfriend. That's something I told my sister. I was one of 3 girlfriends. He's not my boyfriend.
I would love to say if you're having sex with someone, it's kind of assumed.
No.
A loose term. Some people would assume that that's a boyfriend.
Okay? Well, let's
not universal.
Yeah, I left for 2 months and he's boyfriend.
So you're being accused of murder of another human being, right? I don't think it's bothering you at all.
Because, I felt very disrespected. It bothered me the first time we talked about it. It bothered me the second time we talked about it. However, during that second interrogation, you started doing stuff because I actually thought police were like wonderful people. I've been a victim of crime. Police have been wonderful.
Well, we're not courteous to you. Well, we're not.
And you are very courteous. You're very courteous. I told people that. I'm like, they helped me move some of my things in my apartment. I appreciated that. You're very courteous. And then it was like, you guys flipped from the, I'm sorry, the first thing that pissed me off, you didn't even tell me, like, what happened. You didn't tell me the truth about what happened. You told the story like he got beat up.
Get out of that character, please.
You told the story like he was beat up.
Get out of that character, please. Get out of that character.
You can call it what you want.
No, I'm telling you, get out of that character. We deal with people all the time, okay?
And so do I.
We deal with people all the time. We know how to read people. You're basically insulting us right now. You really are.
And you're not insulting me?
It's very convincing.
You're not insulting me?
It's
Katrina, it's very convincing until you look at the science and the common sense of it. And that you can't overcome.
Right here?
That you can't overcome.
If this is actually mine, if this right here is actually mine, I mean, I'll be the one to tell you, oh my God, I look guilty. But you know what? I already know. I didn't do anything to Eric. Eric was an amazing man.
Can you please just
I mean, you can stop asking me questions. I'm going with you today. It doesn't matter to me. I'm being real with you.
I don't think so.
I'm being real. I would rather say...
Just be yourself. Don't go into that Eric was a wonderful man thing.
He was.
This is what we do. We read people. That's what we do.
I don't care. You're not God.
I'm not God.
So I don't care. Apparently you're wrong.
People.
Apparently you're wrong.
All right, then. You are going to go down, like in 5 years I've been doing homicide as the most cold-blooded person I've ever had to deal with.
You taking me in regardless. I mean, it's not like you came down here to comfort me.
No,
You
we
didn't.
came here
Okay,
to
so I'm gonna
understand.
No,
We came here to
And
fully
you don't
understand.
care
We
to
can't-
understand either. You don't care?
We do.
Yes.
We want to give you the
This is a
opportunity.
job. This
No,
is a job.
no, this one we care about. This one
Do
we
you
care
think I'd
about.
rather be here than with my family right
You
now?
think I'd rather be here than with my
Well, you made your own choices. You know, your own actions is what brought you here.
Cute.
Have you ever been in a bad relationship before? A bad one?
What do you mean, like
Where you were
bad?
a
Like cheated
victim?
on or something?
No, like a victim
I've been cheated on.
of domestic violence.
Hell no.
No, never?
No.
Okay.
Who was the stalker? What was that about? When you
I don't
got
know
the gun?
any of my stalkers. I've had 11 total.
How did what behaviors were they doing that led you to be concerned enough to get a gun?
Oh, that one. I was followed home by, I apparently had been followed for quite some time, but didn't know it. And it was it was by a guy that was attending the same church that I was. And when I took the same route to go home every day from wherever I was going. And this particular day, I switched up my route. I checked my mail first. I didn't go on this driveway. I went in this driveway. And apparently the guy went in the way I usually go in, and he met me at my apartment. He got out, grabbed me, shook me up pretty bad, and thank God he let me go. And I called the police. And that officer sat at my table, and I had been stalked already several times. And he sat at my table, and he said, I have daughters. You don't have any mace, you don't have a gun or anything, you need to get something to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell anybody. I said, kill somebody, you shoot them in the knee or something to stop them. That's what happened.
That was the Atlanta police?
No. That was Jackson, Mississippi.
Jackson, okay.
Yes.
Did they do a report, write a report?
Yes, I did a report. You guys know this, right?
That one would.
And you said there were several other people that stalked you. What was the deal with
Because
that?
you guys told my best friend all kinds of stuff. I used to work in the mall in school, and I don't know, just some crazy guys. This one guy used to just come and buy a pair of shoestrings every Thursday. Some orphan dude.
And that's stalking?
And, yeah. He wouldn't let anybody. First of all, I started working at one store, one location, and I transferred to another. He did it there, and he would not get in anyone else's line except mine. And whenever he would pay for it, he would caress my hand. When I give him his money or take the shoestrings, he would grab and like try to hold my hand. So I left that place. He ended up asking one of the coworkers where I was, that I quit. They told him where I went. He started coming there every Thursday.
Really?
Shoestrings.
Did you ever call the police about him?
The police I didn't call, but the mall police, they were. Like, I didn't call the city police, but the mall police were called several times.
Okay.
There were 3 stalkers while I was there, people I didn't know.
While you were where, at the mall?
Working in the mall, yeah, people I didn't know.
What time period is this?
1997 to 99, I think. Or 2000.
What was the other 3 stalkers? What was their deal?
One was a thug guy that saw me outside of the school one day at the gas station and tried to actually get in the car. I was in the back seat of a car. He tried to get into the car with me. That door was locked. The front door was open. He didn't think to pull the front door, thank God. But that was the only time I saw him, and then one day I saw him in the mall, like years later, a couple years later. He just started coming in. He'd buy a pair of socks. He asked me for my number. I gave him the wrong number, and he came back to check me the next day, and I immediately gave him my real number. And, like, he would come often, but I just never answered the phone. When he called, never answered the phone. There was a married guy that used to come in. When he was with his family, he would never look at me, but when he came in by himself, he would just sit and stare. He would sit outside the bench and just stare. He was asked to leave by the police, like, several times. The mall closes, it's time to go. That guy actually followed me home one night. But
Did he confront you?
no, actually I lost him. I had a very fast car, and he followed me maybe about 20.
Which
20
mall was this?
Metro Center.
Is that in Jackson?
Mm-hmm. Careful when you go there. It's pretty dangerous.
What happened in Atlanta? Because I thought you said when we first started talking about the gun that's when you bought the gun was in Atlanta. Because
no, bought the gun in 03 or 04 after that guy came and grabbed me. That's when the police came. Sat at my
was there a
table.
stalker in Atlanta?
Yeah.
What
at
was
the
that
clinic. He was a patient. The very first day I was there, he walked by me and did some kind of grunt looking at me, and he would just stare at me. And I saw him outside of the clinic one day, and it was very inappropriate. And it got to the point to where I finally had to say something because I felt threatened by him by some of the things he did.
What did he do? Well, when you say he was inappropriate, what did he do?
Well, I don't even want to go through that, but he was inappropriate. We had to get the police involved there, and I don't know what he said to them, but something that scared them. And I was told, if you leave to come here, you call us. Do not get out of your car. Even if you see the officer walking towards you, you let the officer open your door for you.
And that was the Atlanta police?
That was Atlanta. That was Sandy Springs.
And what year was that?
2010.
And
They had to walk me. They had to stay in the clinic the whole time that he was there, 3 days a week for hours.
Did they make a report of that?
I'm sure they did. Yeah, they
did
had
they ever
to
give you a case number or anything like that?
They didn't give anything to me.
Did they do any follow-up on it? Like, was the guy ever charged with anything, or did they interview him or anything like that?
They talked. Now, this is police on the campus.
Which campus?
Northside Hospital.
Okay. So they had their own...
They had their own
police?
thing, yeah. So they definitely talked to him, and like I said, they had it arranged every time he came, 3 days a week, that they would be there. So they would sit in a chair.
Did he ever do anything physical with you, or was it just verbal stuff?
Oh, he never actually touched me, but he has tried. So.
How did he try?
He would reach for me. He would lean over the counter and try to get really close to my face, and he would get angry.
Was he a cancer patient?
So.
Okay. What about in Dallas? Did you have stalkers there?
Dallas, there was no one in Dallas.
San Diego?
No, that was a vacation.
While you were in Maryland?
Maryland, no.
No. You said there was 11, so I think we counted about 6 or 7. Who did we miss?
Okay. Well, I didn't know you wanted all 11. Let's see, there's the thug guy that bought the socks. They're trying to get into the car. There's a married guy who I never knew who he was. There's an working guy.
Working?
There is working guy that would buy the shoestrings.
Okay.
He always been in his working uniform.
Oh, okay.
There is, Jackson State, actually. That was my very first stalker. Jackson State, they tried to even get, this was before they had call ID there, they even tried to hook up call ID to figure out who he was and trace calls and able to do that.
Jackson State University?
The guy in Atlanta, there were 11. I actually counted one day, there were 11.
You don't remember the other 6?
I don't.
Think it's unusual to have 11 different stalkers?
It's very unusual. I'm very foxy.
That's
why Eric is so in love.
Did Eric ever stalk you?
He didn't have to. Actually, he did. He told me he did.
I did?
Not stalking. He just said that he'd seen me a couple of times and couldn't get up the nerve to say something. He was scared. He actually said scared. I'm like, you scared? Whatever. Apparently, I look intimidating to me.
Was this place like this when you left? Different?
Actually, pretty neat. Eric is
What's
usually
the
a whole
box all
lot.
about?
I have no idea. That box was in the way, and we never moved it. We walked around that box all night long. I have no idea. My understanding, he didn't even have a back end. That was like a carpet cleaner. I have no idea.
I brought you some pictures to show, but I don't think there's a point around it. I think we're going to stay with it. We're hoping that you change your mind, but I don't think we will, and I'm telling you, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Well, I mean, what do you think is going to happen when they say Katrina Ben murdered Eric Simone in court? Guilty.
They're going to say a lot of things in court.
No, they're going to...
I prayed about it. It tore me up for the first few months. It tore me up. But you know what? I don't know what...
What about it tore you up?
The whole situation. I'm trying to grieve, and then this comes up, and it's just...
It's interesting you say that you're trying to grieve, but all the times we talked to you, you never really shed a tear, really showed much emotion, especially like when we first encountered you that day. Like, you never really showed any emotion whatsoever, and I would have thought
Actually, I was very emotional. I guess we just show emotion in different ways.
Because you were...
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah. I kind of freeze, shut down, and deal with it later. Actually, I didn't cry until... I think it was Sunday night, and it was a real ugly cry where my voice was kind of going the next day. But that was really the only time I cried until after you guys came into the apartment. you know, but I knew this after 2 months. I mean, it's not
But how
like...
did it make you feel when we first told you that?
How did it make me feel?
Yeah.
I was just kind of numb. Like, I didn't want to, it didn't make sense to me. I didn't want to believe it, but I know it wasn't like a game that you guys were playing. I'm a nurse. Like, I know I have to hold it together when I'm talking about serious matters, so you guys want to question me, let's do it, you know.
I mean, are you not the type of person that dwells on things like feelings and stuff like that?
Dwells on feelings? I'm
Yeah.
a very emotional person. I, like, dwell on feelings, I don't understand what you mean.
Like, all right, so...
I'm human.
Like, yeah, no, I mean,
yeah.
you most certainly are. I mean, when you're going through a situation, do you, like, dwell on, like, I dwell on things a lot. Like, I think about it, even though I can't change things.
You're probably very sensitive. I kind of get that.
Right. Yeah, so that's what I'm asking, I guess. Are you like the opposite of sensitive?
No, I'm very sensitive.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm very sensitive.
All right.
You ever had any problems with people at work, any of your jobs?
Problems with people at work? Have I murdered someone at work? No.
I didn't ask you that.
Everybody has problems, I guess, if someone doesn't do their job. But I don't have any problems.
Anything that you had to bring to management or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. I've had, I pretty much do complete care for my patients, and every now and then I'll have to have a nurse assistant to do something. When they don't comply or they do something I think is inappropriate to a patient, I'll bring it to a manager. I'll write somebody up. If I've written people up, yeah.
Often?
No, not often.
How many, like...
I have no idea.
When you were at NIH, any times there?
No. Oh, my God, no. People love me.
What about Hopkins?
No.
Where were you before NIH?
We can look at my resume. You guys have a copy of it on my computer.
Yeah, we know. I was really hoping. I was really hoping you'd come off and you're going to be that. There's 3 or 4 people that I've spoken with that are kind of like you, but you're probably one of the best. But that stuck with it to the end. So it's kind of
very
sad.
easy to just tell the truth.
It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad actually. It's weird. Not even sad. It's weird.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the facts of this case are going to convict you. There's no doubt in my mind. And you're going to go down as this, I don't care. I mean, no, you know.
No remorse.
No remorse whatsoever.
I have nothing to be remorseful about, but what I am is pissed off because you guys have interrupted my life with this. I don't even, 2 months. What the hell could anybody do in 2 months? Like, this guy was absolutely
That's what we want to know.
amazing.
That's the question we have. Because, as I said,
amazing.
it's no longer a matter of did you do it, it's why you did it. You know, that's why we're here. There's no doubt in anyone's mind at this point that you did this.
Okay.
And you know what?
No doubt in my mind that I did.
The 3 or 4 people that I said stuck with it at the end, you know what happens? At the very end, when they stand up and they're convicted and they say, you have anything to say? They say, I'm sorry to the family. That's what they say, and they expect then the people, oh my God, they're remorseful. But you know, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. And you and everybody in that courtroom, because you're going to be in the courtroom, are going to know it's bullshit. They're going to watch all the interviews we did of you.
This right here is bullshit.
Okay? This guy's dead, and you think it's bullshit.
No, Eric's not bullshit. Nothing about Eric's bullshit.
But you're saying this is bullshit.
No,
we're talking to you
being disrespectful is
I'm
bullshit.
being disrespectful?
Yes.
I'm being disrespectful.
Yes.
That's your way of trying to steer us off topic here. Was
I'm following your lead.
Nobody's being disrespectful.
I'm following your lead.
Nobody's being
and
disrespectful.
And you're saying it's bullshit.
You killed someone,
I'm saying
and we're here to find out why.
You can think what you want to think, and you can stop talking to me right now.
It's not about that. It's about science and common sense.
Yeah, you can keep talking. Go ahead.
You want a lawyer? Is that what you're saying to us? That's fine. Yeah. We'll walk away.
Yeah, bye.
We'll walk away.
Bye.
All right.
Thanks for the visit. Nice seeing you.
All right. We'll see you in court.